Prosecutors and defense attorneys are working to settle dozens of criminal cases against former Dothan private investigator William Robeson. He was charged with 41 counts of theft, accused of taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from clients without providing the investigations they paid for. A hearing set for this week was abruptly canceled as both sides told the court they're trying to resolve all of the cases. Earlier, a judge ordered Robeson's bank accounts frozen after police say they found nearly $48,000 in cash, dozens of guns, vehicles, and other property at his home. State records show his private investigator license is now inactive.